Hello, good afternoon from London. Thank you everyone for joining so promptly. We're gonna kickstart our webinar today on enhancing the customer experience using mobile itineraries, and that's going to be looking at our. Oh, sorry, I've just realised I've not put my camera on, so I'll just turn that on, and you can now see me. Hello. Yeah, we're going to be looking at Tineri and using sort of mobile applications to enhance the customer experience. I'm your host. My name is Tom. I work in the commercial team here at Open Destinations. So just to give you a little bit of a quick run through of what we're going to be covering today, we're going to have a very quick look into who we are, Open Destinations. You may not have heard of us before. So we'll have a quick intro to that and our product set, including Tineri. And as I said, then we'll jump into a live demo. Apparently Marco can't hear us. I don't know if that's a problem on his side. I think, okay, my other tester here is Nick, who's in our in our marketing team. You may have come across Nick in a number of the emails that have come out to you. Nick sat next to me. He's also going to be coordinating the Q&A later today. And there may well be some various different polls and pop-ups that come up in the middle of your screen for you to give us some feedback or ask some questions as we go through. We'll try our best to answer those as we go through. If you don't get any through, we'll put up our contact details at the end, so you can send us through some direct messages and arrange some follow-ups with either myself or someone in our team. I believe we are recording the session, so we hopefully have turned everybody's we've turned everybody's comments and chat functions either off or into anonymous mode. So you should only be chatting with either myself or Nick as we go through today. Open Destinations, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. We were founded by Kevin O'Sullivan a little while back. He's still our CEO today. We're privately owned, and we've grown to be about 600 in our team at the moment. So it's quite a large team now. We're headquartered here in London. We also have a large engineering department based out in Goa in South India, where we've got about 120, 150 software developers working across our product sets, introducing new features into our roadmap, and providing various other sort of support services and business support services that you'll learn a little bit more about either through today or from our website if you want to look into that. We've got well over 100 customers across our various different products. We're a global company, so we are based in London and Goa, but we're a global company with customers all the way from West Coast US right the way through to Europe and down through Asia and into Australia as well. So it's really important to provide that 24-hour support for our client base, which means you can access our team any time of the day, no matter which time zone you are working in. So moving on then just quite quickly into the various sort of products we offer. We've got two reservation systems. These are sort of itinerary management, booking management platforms. They enable you to build your itineraries, manage your suppliers, send out invoices, take payments. And those are Travel Builder and Travel Studio. We actually did a webinar quite recently introducing our Travel Builder product. And if you haven't seen that already, I'm sure it'll be included in some follow-up emails that we send out to you. Or as I said, you'll see our contact details later. You're more than welcome to contact us and we can send you a recording of either of those webinars. I did mention a little bit back about business support services as well. For some of our clients, we offer various sort of finance operations in travel businesses, customer support operations, ticketing, data loading and product management within reservation systems, either Travel Studio or some other systems out there as well we manage for. But we're going to be focusing our time today on Tineri, which is our mobile application. And it's designed to provide your customers or your passengers up-to-date information, changes to itineraries, detailed information about where they're going and places to see along the way, as well as recommended restaurants or excursions that you want to really enhance their journey with you. and build up customer loyalty so that hopefully they come back and book time and time again. Very briefly, just going to jump into and show you a couple of customers that we work with across our various different client base. You'll see we work with DMCs, specialist tour operators, and so on and so forth. Just in terms of Tineri itself, I'm not going to read out the various different customer testimonials, but hopefully just to give you a little bit of comfort in that it's used by a number of businesses all over the world. And yeah, that's a very quick, brief introduction to Open Destinations and our Tineri product. And what I'm just going to do now is hopefully in a moment, you're going to see the screen swap. And I'm just going to jump into that now, and you'll start hopefully seeing my phone in a second, which I'll very conveniently put onto Do Not Disturb, so that we'll hopefully be able to go through today. So I'm getting the thumbs up from Nick, so that's showing that we are indeed running live with our Tineri product. So you'll see here, I've downloaded the Tineri app onto my mobile phone, and we can see that down in the bottom. In its normal format, you'll see it as it is today. In some formats, we do also enable you to brand that, so you can actually change the name and logo as it appears on your phone to appear with your own logo and name if you want to. If we jump into that, then we've got my profile, and again, from here on in, all of this is fully customizable to be branded according to your guidelines, your logos. So we've got Tineri at the top of the screen here. That's obviously our logo, but that will be replaced with your logo. And we've got underneath it a particular tour that we're going to have a jump into and look around, along with a countdown for helping us get excited about when we're going to go. The image on the background can also be changed depending on the trip that they're going on. So you might have some customers that you can see, like in my example here, I've got multiple different trips that I'm booking onto with Tineri tours. And depending on which trip we're going on to, we can tailor or customize that experience for the passenger. And you can see at the top in this particular example, we've got your logo here. And that's exactly what I mean. You can change that to be your own, or you can change it to be depending on the tour that they're going on if you operate with different brands to different destinations. So we're going to jump into our walking tour here, which is Camino de Santiago. And we're going to, sorry, I'm just going to push that away. And we're going to jump into enter. One of the benefits of it being an application rather than it being a sort of responsive website or anything is that all of this information can be downloaded to your phone, which means that it is available offline as well. So if some of your customers perhaps don't have roaming, as long as they've downloaded this when they do have an internet connection, a lot of this information will be stored in the phone, readily available for them. So at the top, we've got a nice image. Again, you can choose and pick your own images depending on the tour that they're going on. And we've got a custom menu underneath here. So various different tours, you might have different information that you do want to show or don't want to show to your passengers. And these can be tailored. So it might be, for example, that you don't want to show transportation, or you don't want to show meals. Or, for example, you can create your own custom menu items, which we'll jump into in a minute as well. Okay, so if we jump into about, a lot of this you'll see we can store various different information in various different formats to make it easily accessible and easily navigatable for your passengers. We've got things such as live connections to things or stored connections if you prefer to, in terms of creating currencies, which can obviously be defaulted to your own passenger currency. In this case, my passenger is based in the US, or they can drop down and select their own currency as well. We've got things such as live translator as well. So you can jump in here and give them additional sort of information if they're struggling to navigate around in Spain. And things such as links to weather and so on and so forth as well. We can then jump into the itinerary. And at first glance, we're given a day-by-day sort of summary itinerary of all of the various different aspects of what we're going to be doing on our tour. And we can actually jump into various different days of these to get more information. So if we jump into day 2, we're going to be getting a lot more detailed information that we've gathered here for our passengers about where they're going to be. In this case, we're going to be in Leon, and we're going to give them information of where they can find things and what to be looking out for while they're there. We can also provide links. Okay.
Let's be stuck on an old page.
Ooh.
There we go.
Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself as my computer and my phone was just catching up. So you can see day 2 here, and we can see additional information into what there is to see in Lyon. But we can also provide links to either internal or external resources. So in this case, we've actually provided a little bit of information that we can link up to Wikipedia. In this case, you might prefer to choose your own website or somewhere a little more internal. Just trying to jump back to the app. And underneath, we can also see specific things that are related to this particular day. So we can see the particular accommodation that we're staying in, and we can jump to information around that and our room type that we've got there, obviously the address as well, which we can click into and open in maps, contact information. We've got guides. If you're providing a guide as part of your escorted tour, we can jump into Pablo and we can provide some information around his experience. We can call him, we can chat to him. And so on and so forth in there as well. We've also got, if I jump back a little bit, we've got 2 different types of optionals or experiences and extras that you can store within the system. This gives you the opportunity to include various different experiences that are included within the tour. In this particular case, there wasn't any on that particular case, so I'm just going to jump into the experiences tab, and we're going to see in this case we've got a testing experience, but we've also got the opportunity to upsell to our customers and passengers as well. So in this particular case, we can jump into extras and see when various different optional extras are available. So the Lyon Cathedral is available on day 2 at an additional cost of €11. In this case, it's payable on the door. But you can also see those right in here in our itinerary as well, and we can see them listed down, which we can jump into from there as well, making it really nice and easy to navigate and find additional information and experiences that are available. We've also got the ability to share, so you might want to copy this and send it out to one of your friends where you're going and what you're doing. We've also got the maps that I was mentioning about before. So in this particular case, you can see various different things that are stored within the maps, and they come up if you zoom in or zoom out. But you've also got the ability to actually tag certain things that you want your customers to be able to see. So this could be, for example, making sure they know where the hostel is. You can tag that within the system, or you can tag various different recommended restaurants, places to go to for lunch, and various sort of other things that you might want to provide to them. If we jump back a step as well, we can also see maps on a tour level. So in this particular case, I'm going to jump into my Maps tab on the home page. And we can actually see in this particular case, we've mapped out the whole walking tour all the way from A to B, going all the way along our Caminos de Santiago. Assuming we've loaded that correctly, we can load that all along our Camino de Santiago, and you can provide various different points of interest that you want to draw attention to for your customers, showing that you are the experts in your sort of destinations and locations as well. One last little thing to jump into on the itinerary is also our ability to show a difference between a detailed itinerary and a timelined itinerary. And in this case, we've got 2 different examples, but you can load multiple ones of these and you'll be able to scroll down through those. So you can tell your passengers where they should be at various different times in order to make sure that they meet you at the correct point at the correct time. Okay. I was showing you earlier links to external sites. We've also got hint tips within the system here, and you can see Iron Cross there, hopefully in a slightly bold and different color. And we can tap onto that to provide us with pop-ups within the app as well. So again, just giving you that really sort of detailed, enhanced sort of information to show that you are the experts in knowing your tours and destinations. Of course, we've jumped into various different areas of the system, and we've got things such as our guides. We saw Pablo earlier, but we've also got a nice, easy location to add into there. You might have multiple different guides, which is why you can see, in this case, Pablo is our guide for all different days, but you could have different guides for different days. We've got documents as well. Now, documents can be sent out either to everybody who's booked onto this trip, or they can be sent out into individual passengers if you need to provide them with various different vouchers to be able to. Oh, I'm still just a second behind, just letting that catch up. So we can see various different vouchers that are sent out, or confirmations, itinerary in this case, that can be downloaded and stored onto the phone if they wanted to as well. And then the next little bit I'm going to jump into here is going to be the chat functionality. So within the chat, we've got a number of different flexible options. So we've got customers who use this in sort of small group escorted tours versions. And in this case, what they might want to do is enable customers to start talking to each other prior to the trip. So we can see who's booked onto this particular tour, and we might want to start getting to know our fellow travelers, especially if you've got a maximum group size of something like 10 or 8 or something like that. They can start having conversations and getting to know each other prior to the trip. Some people prefer to have that switched off, which is obviously fully sort of possible within the system. But we also have the ability then to talk to customer support or our operator. So if I just jump into this for a little second on the backside, what we can see here is jumping into my little chat with Tom. We can see a little dialogue going between myself and the customer support agent who's based out in the office, and we can send messages back and forth. As I'm typing them through into the system in the back end as your staff would use in the office, you can see that coming through straight back in real time into the system here as well. Also, it's a little grayed out on this one, but you can send links through as well. So this can actually open, and this will open right within the app, or you can toggle it to show it into your Google Maps app as well. We can click onto there we go. And it's going to find that for us and help us navigate to that, providing real-time customer experience into your passengers. If I just stop sharing that for a moment, what I'm then going to do is just bring it up for you into our system here and see a little bit about how we bring those itineraries to life. So in a second, you should now be able to see back to my desktop. Is that working?
Yeah.
So here is the back end that we were just talking about here, and that chat functionality that we can type into and see where we're talking to our customers. We've got multiple different options from an operator side on the chat as well. We can either do one-to-one chats, which we were just doing there with Tom, or we can send it to a group of users, or we can send it to everyone. So it could be, for example, there's a last-minute change to the itinerary, and you want to send it to everybody who's going on the Camino de Santiago tour, and we can say that we're going to say we're going to create a group or send to all within those groups, so that we make sure everybody is updated as to any changes in the itinerary or any urgent information that they should know as you're coming across that information. We can also schedule messages as well, so that they start appearing at certain times. So it could be you wanted to send them a message 7 days before their trip and say, we hope you're looking forward to the trip, and don't forget your passport, or provide us with any information around your dietary requirements or anything else that you might decide to do so within there. If we just jump through to the home page on this for a second, what we're going to be able to see is our any current trips that are currently in progress, which will give us easy ability to navigate into that and start managing anything that's going on with current trips. We can also see upcoming trips that we might want to jump into to make any changes or amendments. Okay. And if we jump into our trips on the left-hand navigation here, we've got various different ways of managing things. So we can store saved days so that you can actually apply those days to multiple different packages. If you've got lots of different tours, for example, that go to Madrid, you might want to have various different days that are the same, but in different packages as well. So we can create and copy days. We can create and copy packages as well, so that it makes it easier for us to use those various different packages across multiple trips. Saves you a lot of time in setup once you've got the data into the system. And then we can manage our bookings and departures. So rather than showing you how to set up a trip from scratch, I'm actually just going to show you a little bit about one that's live and in progress, and that's that Camino de Santiago tour I was just showing you onto my phone. And as I said, we can copy that and create a new version that perhaps goes out a week later or the following year, however often you run those trips, making it quite nice and quick. Or we can open that, and it might be a case, for example, that we've heard from the hotel that they want to change, or that they're not available, you need to change something in the itinerary, and we can see that here. So we've got the ability to jump in and we can edit our itinerary. And we can create multiple different versions of the itinerary as well, so that they're available in the native language to your customers. Again, in this case, these are just the ones we've chosen. You can customize and turn on various different languages depending on those that are relevant to either you or the departure, the destination, or your customers. We obviously give it a trip name, and we give it the various different information as you are seeing just come through into my phone. We can create additional owners, which means that different people can access and amend these. If you've got a larger team, you might want different people working on different trips or different destinations. It gives you then the ability to make sure that they can access it, access features such as the chat function to talk to your passengers, and also obviously prevent other people from being able to access it if you want to lock it down from other people. I won't go through all the various different areas here, but you see things such as the map settings that we were showing. We see points of interest that we were loading into those maps. We've got our start points and end points following various different routes. And further down, then we've got the various different accommodations that we're set up. So in this particular case, they're actually staying in a different accommodation every night of their trip. So we've loaded in our hotel room comp, we've applied it for day one, or we can apply it if they're staying in the hotel for the duration of the trip for all of them. And we can then add the various different rooms or room types and accommodations as they continue along their Camino de Santiago walking tour. We can obviously then remove this accommodation and we can add in a new one, or we can very quickly and easily just select a new accommodation from our drop down, which makes making amendments and changes to itineraries very quick and easy. If I jump back a little step as well, what we can also do is then jump into the days. So again, as I was saying before, we can store and save days so that they can be easily copied. If I jump into here, we can copy the day, we can save the day and use that across multiple different packages or different departures, different tours. Or we can jump in and we can edit our day. Again, just showing you how easy it is to make various different changes to here. We can add different locations, different points of interest, change specific files or images to make it a little different, and we can add additional experiences or extras that are available on certain times as well. So I don't think we're going to do cross-country skiing in Madrid, but we can, for example, see the Leon Cathedral. For example, it's probably not the correct one. And as quickly as that, we've made changes to our itinerary, which will then be delivered and updated into the app when the passengers next have an internet connection for the app to download that new itinerary into the system. We can then control who is going on this particular trip. So we can do this either on a large scale basis. In this case, we've got about 100 people going on this particular trip. Or we can do it on private tours as well. So you might do sort of FIT or tailor-made itineraries, in which case you can start from a set package create a copy and then make adjustments. And then we would only add specific users to that trip so that they would, so it would be a private tour just for them within that itinerary. As I said, with documents, we can store things such as vouchers, we can store things such as itineraries, any sort of transportation information you want to, and we can add new ones in here as well. And as I was saying, we can select whether they go to specific users. So you can have a different voucher for individual passengers if they're named vouchers, for example, or we can select that they just send to all. Another feature, I actually should have shown it on the phone. I can perhaps jump back in and show it if need be. Another feature that we do have is the ability to take feedback and surveys within the system as well. So you can ask your passengers to start rating things. In this particular case, in our demo environment, we've loaded a multitude of different ones. You might not want to ask your passengers so many different questions, but you can have service information. So you can ask, how was our guide, Pablo? In this case, someone has replied and said he was great. You can obviously ask information about specific hotels. You can have information based on a day-to-day basis, which is why we've seen Pablo come up a couple of times here. He might have been 10 out of 10 on day one, but maybe only 8 out of 10 on day two. And you've got the ability to manage that on a day-by-day basis. Or we've also got the ability to do tour surveys as well. So this is then collating information on the tour as a whole, which you've got the ability to start analysing. And obviously you can do that as pre-departure and post-departure and start taking on that feedback in order to improve those tours going forward based directly from information coming from your passengers and travellers. Okay. Jumping through then, I think that's probably the majority. You can obviously see various different ways in which we can store information within our CMS here for you to deliver. I think that's probably the majority of what I wanted to show you in a brief format of Tineri today. Just jumping back, I'm going to bring up my PowerPoint presentation again. And I'm just going to jump through a couple of slides to round off today, and then we've got time for any questions if they've come in. Or as I said, we'll take those offline and respond to you individually. So I guess the key thing that people always want to know is how quickly can they start using the product? And the reality is straight away. We can set you up within the system and provide training to you within hours of you telling us that you want to go ahead. We also do run, I'll jump into that in a second actually. So the pricing is obviously dependent on the number of passengers who use the system. Our standard features enable you to start from as low as £129 per month. We've also got an enterprise version of the system, which gives you access to additional features such as our API, for example, which enables you to push itineraries that you build in your reservation system directly into Tineri, which will save you more time in terms of having to create the itineraries. You can push them directly as they're created, and people take sales and bookings in your contact centers or in your offices. So the other thing I think to mention really around pricing is we do operate on a tiered system as well. So if you're a larger business that covers many more hundreds or even thousands of operators, we've got some people who run 30 to 40,000 passengers per year through our Tineri application. We do have a tiered system as well, which makes it more cost economical across a passenger by passenger basis as they download the applications for you. To get you started, we actually do also offer two options. One, you can download the application, and we're going to be sending that out to you in our follow-up emails later today, where you can download, and just as I was showing you through my phone just now, you can actually download that same tour, the Camino de Santiago, and have a click around using your phone to see the various information and understand what your passengers will be getting. We'll send out how to download and access that yourselves. We also then do operate a free trial. So we'll be running that promotion for the next week or two, where you can sign up and take a 30-day free trial, start setting up your own itineraries. You'll obviously have either myself or one of the team here train you on how to run those and how to make those itineraries come to life, as we were showing you with the Camino tour. And all of that is saved into the system as well. So you can play around with the system. You can use it on one of your live tours during your free 30-day trial. And then if you then opt to continue with us at the end of your trial, all of that information is saved and stored in the system. So you can expand out and trial that and run that across multiple different tours that you're offering as well. We're running quite ahead of time today, but that's really everything that I wanted to show you. It's a really nice, slick and simplistic product that can really hopefully enhance your customer experience and really, as I said, drive customer loyalty so that they come back and start booking future tours with you and increasing your ROI from those events as well. I've got my contact details up on the top of the screen. Hopefully you can see that. It is tom@opendestinations.com. Alternatively as well, as I said, Nick will be sending out some follow-up emails for you later today, which you'll be able to reply to or get in touch with us in those areas as well. So that's it from me today. Thanks for joining. Thank you for your time. We'll be sharing a recording of this for any members of your team who perhaps weren't able to join today, and we'll be sharing that out in due course. Look forward to speaking with you soon.